Hi guys. This will be my last digital journal for the year, which is crazy. I can't believe how fast the time's gone, but here we are. And I wanted to reflect on my EFE hours a little bit. So all of my EFE hours I actually completed at the Boys and Girls Club because that was just like what was convenient to me for me. And also I just really liked the feel of it, like the community aspect of the Boys and Girls Club was just something that was, I felt very unique. I immediately something that I noticed was like a lot of times I was literally the only white person in the room, and like that was very kind of very strange to me, because I think like a lot of times in a lot of the spaces that I'm in, I'm not really like, I'm not the minority. And so it was just strange being on the other end of that, because it was just something that I noticed when I sat in the room. And I think that that community feel was so great, but I also think that it was hard being an outsider to that sort of like boys and girls community, the Boys and Girls Club community, because it was hard to sort of have the like trust and respect from the kids that they had with, say, like some of the regular workers there. And so that was something that I had to work on. So as I kept coming in, a couple days every week, I started to become more of a familiar face, and the kids started to trust me more. I started to listen a little bit more, and it just became easier to be a part of helping them with homework and participating in the activities that they did. Just talking to them during snack time and like helping them out with their reading. And something that was just difficult in the right off the bat was just feeling like I was sort of an outsider, because the workers that work there every single day, week after week, they really, it really does seem like they treat these kids who come in every day to the Boys and Girls Club as their own. And like there's always that, like, that saying, like, it takes a village to like raise a kid. And I honestly really felt that when I was there. And something that was just different from my other EFE hours, like my EFE experiences, because there was that clear separation in the schools where it was like there was mutual respect, but it wasn't exactly that family community feel that the Boys and Girls Club had. And that was something that just like blew me away from the Boys and Girls Club, as opposed to like Kenwood or Carrie Busey, because I think during school hours it's really hard to get everything done under the like state standards and stuff, and also have that like really close community feel. And it's also easier, I think it's different at the Boys and Girls Club, because those kids are there every single day after school for a long period of time. And so that community aspect is just so strong there. And just something that was like funny about sort of being the only white person in the room. I never really thought about this, but a lot of the like African American students came up to me and asked me about my freckles, and they were like, "What are those dots on your face?" And I was like, "My freckles," and it just like became apparent to me that this like the Champaign community is like heavily like minority, has like a heavy minority presence. And I think that maybe they just don't come in contact with that many white people with freckles. And so like when they saw me, they were very curious as to why I had freckles, and they also were very curious as to like my insulin pump. My one of my students that I was helping with homework had asked about my insulin pump and asked me, I told them I had type 1 diabetes, and they asked me, "Oh, is that why you have dots on your face?" And I was like, what? And so just some of the questions I got, I just had never really thought about that I would have to explain like why I have freckles. And so I ended up just telling them, well, I'm Irish. And I was like, it's just part of, I don't know, my genes, I guess. And so it was just a very funny, like, just a very funny question that made me realize like they probably don't come in contact with that many like white people in their community, or like just in their area. So that was something that really shocked me and kind of just really made me think a lot, and it was really sweet too. And yeah, I think altogether, like, my experience at the Boys and Girls Club was a really great one, and I definitely want to come back. I miss the kids. I am struggling with finals just like everybody else, and I think, like, honestly, I just want to go back and, like, have some contact with those kids again and just really, like, just help them out. I really liked helping them with their homework. There was one student there that we were struggling helping him with math, and you know, he ended up breaking down crying about math, and I just remember when that was me as a kid, and like to be able to sort of help them with homework and help them, especially tell him, you know, that it was going to be okay, and like that, you know, I had the same struggles with math, and just to help them through that that part in their schoolwork was like really meaningful to me, because I needed somebody to tell me that when I was a kid, that like it was all going to be okay, and that, you know, and really help me with my math, because a lot of times my parents couldn't really help me out with math, and they didn't, you know, go to college, and they struggled in school and had very dysfunctional families. So I just needed someone like that, and it was really nice to be that person for the kids. And altogether, I just think it was a really great experience, and I definitely want to go back. And I'm glad I did all my EFE hours at the Boys and Girls Club, because I became less of an outsider. Like week by week, I knew more people. I knew the workers. The students remembered me, and I was mostly working with like the 9-year-olds. So it was like third grade, and that was like a really cool age group, because they're just like really coming into their own personalities, and so they have a lot of sass and just a lot of like witty comments to say, and it was just very interesting to work with them. So yeah, I guess that's the end of my last digital journal. So signing off forever. Bye guys.